Schools should have
The undergraduate student government is ramping up for another election. We'll hear more from the candidates.
Shooting occur on campus.
A plane crashed into an Orange County neighborhood. We'll talk to a student who was at the scene.
A USC mystery is still unsolved. We'll talk about what happened 6 years ago.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Trojans are getting ready to pick their next student leaders. Good evening, I'm Kate Johnston.
And I'm Megan Manata. Starting midnight, undergraduate students will be able to vote on presidential and senatorial tickets. The three presidential tickets are Michaela Murphy and Megan Lane, Trenton Stone and Mahin Tashin, and Maxwell Brandon and Grayson Adler. We asked them what they want voters to know before casting their ballots.
And a message and a vision that's resonating, and people reaching back out and kind of holding hands with us, and making this feel like a very communal effort has been really incredible. So thank you.
I don't know if people have seen the USG graphic. I'm just going to put a quick plug, but the graphic shows that your vote could matter of up to $20,000, and I think if you wrap your head around that, it really emphasizes why now is a good time to really pay attention to what the school is doing and why you need a liaison between the students and the administration, and hopefully you pick the right person to do that.
We want people to know we're there for the right reasons, and that's to make USC a better place. We're volunteering our time to do that because we actually care about the school. Grayson and I both have a lot invested in the school. We're both legacies, and we love this place, and it was our #1 choice from the beginning. And I feel like with the contacts we have and the motivation we have, we're actually going to make changes that students are going to feel the effects of either day. They're going to know USG is doing things to improve their USG experience.
Annenberg Media put out an Instagram poll today asking students if they plan to vote in the USG election. The results show over 3/4 of students say they are going to vote this year. Last year's presidential race was decided by a margin of only 115 votes out of 4,000 ballots.
Today in the studio, we have Fernando Leon Ramos with us. He is USG's Director of Communications. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So what efforts have you taken to improve voter turnout at USC?
So we have a really great elections and recruitment team this year. The two directors were actually on the team last year, so they know exactly how it works. They've been working really hard on the code to make sure it's a seamless process. They reached out to organizations in order to get people interested in running, so they were really trying to get a good amount of tickets. And we really publicized the write-in candidacy when we only had one ticket for president and vice president at first, and that really ended up working out because we got 3 different write-in tickets, which was amazing. Other than that, they've been working very hard with our marketing team to sort of push out information about the elections, about the candidates. Our tech director updates the website with all of the platforms. We've been going hard on social media. And like we do the last few years, we're going to be having food trucks. We know that that's a big appeal for students. So any student who votes between the hours of 11 and 2 will be able to get some food out on Truesdale.
Amazing. And how do you feel the voting atmosphere this year is different from previous years?
This is an interesting year because this is the first year that the write-in candidacy has actually been used. So that was something new to everyone, kind of unexpected. We have 3 really amazing tickets right now, and each one has wishes to improve the undergraduate experience, but sort of a little bit of a different take from each one. So I really encourage all the students at USC to look at the candidate platforms, sort of learn about them, and see which one most matches what they're looking for.
Great. Are you planning to vote in this year's election?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as it's midnight tonight, I'll be on the platform.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
Back to you, Megan.
Thank you, guys. So remember, you can vote starting at midnight at elections.usc.edu. The National Transportation Safety Board revealed today that a 75-year-old retired police officer was the pilot of a plane that crashed into a Yorba Linda home yesterday. The pilot and 4 people on the ground were killed. We spoke with a Yorba Linda resident and community college student who took this video after the crash.
It was obviously like Sunday morning or afternoon, and my brother actually had heard the crash happen. He thought it was like a large car crash, but then he saw someone post on social media that this plane had hit, and it was like right near us. We saw like this huge smokestack coming from like the hills just a couple miles away from us, and we wanted to, go and check it out as soon as possible and see if there was any way we could help. We were all kind of driving up there, and I think a lot of us were just thinking like, wow, you never really expect a catastrophe to happen.
At this point, there's no information about the cause of the crash.
Reducing gun violence in California classrooms is what voters worry about the most. That's according to a new poll that asked people about their educational priorities. The joint survey done by USC Rossier School of Education and PACE poll asked 2,000 California voters about what needs to change in education. Voters from both parties support more active shooter drills and expanding mental health programs. But as expected, Democrats and Republicans disagree on how to make these programs effective.
Normally the focus of education policy, right? Normally we're thinking about things like standards and testing and school choice, but it's clear that actually this is an important part of education policy, and we probably do need to be thinking more about it and how can we design policies to help make people feel better about safety and gun violence in schools.
We asked students here at USC to weigh in on the problem of gun violence at schools.
Schools should have programs and responses that are well known to all the students, that students will know what to do should a shooting occur on campus. Other than that, you can't really prevent it. It's not the school's job to regulate the law. They should just make sure that their students are safe and know what to do.
I would hope that the school systems would do a better job of reaching out to people and focusing on mental health. People just don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to go, shoot people and kill people. I think that there are problems that underlie that, and I think that schools need to address that to kind of get to the, root of gun violence issues.
The Rossier Schools poll shows that gun violence matters to voters, regardless of age, sex, or political orientation. And it clearly matters to USC students, too.
USC is reviewing security measures after it learned valuable works of architecture were stolen from the university warehouse 6 years ago. The thieves stole furniture designed by famous architects Frank Lloyd Wright and Rudolf Schindler, potentially valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. The missing objects were first noticed by a facilities staffer in 2012, but investigators only became aware of the heist after an anonymous letter was sent to the LA Times. The identities of the thieves are still unknown. There was no sign of break-in and vandalism, and there's only one key to the room. Nothing else appears to have been taken.
Millions of people tuned into the Super Bowl last night, and many weren't impressed with the halftime performance.
Our entertainment reporter's Gabby Gonta has more information on the negative reactions to the show.
I was most upset that we didn't see more of SpongeBob's Sweet Victory included in the show, but the Maroon 5 performance is what everybody's talking about today. 'Cause girls like you don't now get like me, so now when I call you, I need a girl like you. Twitter users criticized the band for being boring compared to halftimes past, but they were most upset after frontman Adam Levine went shirtless. People are pointing out that it's scary similar to Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction during her performance in 2004, saying how come Adam Levine can show his nipples at the Super Bowl, but Janet Jackson can't? Double standards much? Others are more critical of how the show was organized.
I think my main problem with this year's show was that it was so segmented, and which in itself isn't bad, but the transitions were kind of awkward, and they didn't flow logically from one thing to another.
So they face some criticism, but Maroon 5 does have 3 Grammys, 2 in the Best Performance category. They're nominated again this year for their duo performance of Girls Like You with Cardi B. You can tune into the 2019 Grammy Awards ceremony this Sunday, February 10th at 5 p.m. on CBS.
There must be something in the water. LA Public Health is urging residents to avoid the beach.
And the governor of Virginia is under file for a controversial yearbook photo that may or may not be him.
And a USC faculty member is recognized with his own street name. We'll find out who when we come back.
Mírate. Oye, amigos. Eres el mejor. Eres imparable. Nada puede desviar tu rumbo. Espera, se parece a tu auto. Oh, no. esto lastimará tu cuenta bancaria. Ahora estás viendo torno a $10,000 en multas, honorarios de abogados y el aumento de las tasas de seguros. Vamos a tratar de nuevo. Buena idea. Porque manejar entonado es manejar borracho.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Doesn't see race. Love is love. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam met with his cabinet and staff today following the controversy surrounding a photo of two men in blackface and a KKK robe in his medical school yearbook page. Initially, Northam took responsibility for the photo, but then later claimed he was not one of the two individuals pictured. Both Democrats and Republicans have called for the governor to step down, and protests erupted outside the state capitol this morning. Virginia House Speaker Kirk Cox spoke out against Governor Northam.
And obviously on impeachment, that's a very high standard. And so I think that's why we have called for the resignation. We hope that's what the governor does. I think that would obviously be less pain for everyone.
Despite the backlash, Northam announced that he will remain in office and not step down. If he does choose to resign, he will be replaced by Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax.
LAUSD flags will remain at half-staff until Wednesday in honor of Michelle King. The first female African-American superintendent of LAUSD died at age 57. She had been battling cancer for years. King dedicated her entire career to the LA Unified School District. In May of 2017, she received her Doctorate of Education at USC's Rossier School.
The city of Los Angeles is recognizing a former USC dentistry faculty member with a street named in his honor. Dr. Amarjeet Singh Marva recognized this recognition for his contribution to the Sikh community. The street located at the corner of Vermont and Finley Avenue is the site of the Hollywood Sikh temple. Dr. Marva donated the building in 1969 and established the temple. It's the first in U.S. since India's independence in 1947. Marva began teaching at USC's dentistry school back in 1962. Well, there's been so much rain lately, I'm kind of wondering what the rest of the weather's going to be like.
I'm wondering that too, although rain doesn't really bother me. I once walked in a negative 10-degree snowstorm in heels, but let's hear about the weather anyway.
Hello there, guys. Happy Monday, and boy, is it wet out there. Oh my goodness, let's take a look at today's forecast. It has been a cold and rainy day all day in Southern California. 58 degrees and showers, 65% humidity, and it is not going to get better anytime soon. Let's take a look at the area tomorrow. Tomorrow, it is going to be cold and drizzly throughout most of the area. It's snowing up in Big Bear, where it has been all day. 58 in Palm Springs. It's going to be 48 degrees over in San Bernardino, and then 49 in Riverside. Going over to the coast, it doesn't get much warmer either. It is going to be 56 degrees out here in Malibu. It's going to be 52 in Thousand Oaks, 52 up in Northridge, and then 50 degrees in the San Fernando Valley. Those are pretty cold temperatures for Southern California. Let's look and see what it's going to be like around USC. It's going to be 54. It's going to be 56 over by LAX, 56 down in Long Beach, 52 up in Pasadena, and then 54 throughout the rest of the area, basically. Let's take a look at the rest of this week's forecast. Okay, so we're going to have rain tomorrow. Hopefully it will clear up by 1 p.m. No promises, though. It's going to be clouds if it does clear up, and then it's going to be cloudy continuing into Wednesday. It's going to get a little bit lighter into Thursday, and then Friday might be our day. There's going to be some sun, finally, and then it's going to be back to rain on Saturday. As wet as it is out there, though, there is one type of water you should not be in. It's the ocean. That's right. With all the rain that's fallen in the past few days, the water off the coast is just filled with trash. But if you're a surfer, that may not matter to you that much. I talked to my friend Robby on the way to the beach this morning.
I know that you're not supposed to go surfing in the rain, but I always just do it anyway and hope for the best. I've gotten sick several times. Never anything that serious, but I have gotten sick. Some places, like the watercolor doesn't really change that much, but some places it's like the water kind of looks like chocolate milk.
He says he plans to go surfing later today.
I mean, that is brave. I don't know if I would be doing that.
I definitely would not surf in water that looked like chocolate milk.
Can you tell us more about your friend and why would he do that?
He just likes to shred the gnar, you know?
Well, an ocean water quality rain advisory was issued because rainfall causes bacteria levels in ocean waters to increase. Experts say because of runoff, it may not be safe to go into the ocean for at least 3 days.
Runoff is not cleaned and just straight discharged out. And so when it rains, you know, in particular what's called the first flush, so when it hasn't rained for a long time and you have all this buildup of oil on roads from leaky cars, that first flush of pollutants and of chemicals and of just trash all goes out at once.
The public health advisory cautions residents and tourists to avoid swimming, surfing, and playing in ocean waters around storm drains, creeks, and rivers. The ocean water is likely contaminated with bacteria, chemicals, and trash. The warning is in effect until Wednesday, February 6th. With more rain on the way, that advisory could be extended. For more information on water safety, you can visit publichealth.lacounty.gov/beach. Well, you know what? It's too bad that the Rams lost in the Super Bowl yesterday.
It really is too bad. It's almost as bad as USC football. Let's toss it to our sports anchor, Robby Aronson, to find out more.
The Rams couldn't claim this year's Super Bowl, but we will check out their odds of winning next year. And with USC football, the Trojans lost a couple of players before National Signing Day. We'll discuss why. And finally, we'll take a look at how the Trojan teams performed over the weekend. But first, let's call a timeout. We'll be back with sports after the break.
Guys, honestly, 5 more minutes. Like.
迷惑ボーイ。ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。
スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。
I see you blocking the aisle. That's a rude thing to do. This causes problems because people can't get around you. So when you bring your things like bags or luggage, put them in the proper place. That's metro etiquette. When you're on the train, you need to leave some space so we can go about our day. Don't block the doors or block the aisles. That is not okay. You need to leave some space, so can you please get out the way? Leave some room for the rest of us.
Super Kind のように優しくね。
Oh, sorry. I just woke up after falling asleep during that boring Super Bowl game. The Patriots beat the Rams 13-3 in the lowest scoring Super Bowl of all time. Though a low-scoring affair, the Patriots pulled out a late fourth-quarter win when Tom Brady threw a 29-yard dime to Rob Gronkowski, setting up the only touchdown of the game, a 2-yard run by Sony Michel. This was Brady's 9th Super Bowl appearance and 6th victory, both NFL records.
I just think I play with so many great guys on so many great teams, and I still get to do it. 41 years old, play a sport I grew up loving, and proud of my team tonight.
Definitely, I got out-coached, and I didn't do nearly good enough for a football team. I'm still kind of numb right now, but have so much love for these players and these coaches, and that's where, you know, it really, you know, it eats at you because you feel like you didn't do your part to help them, you know, achieve success.
Have now appeared in 47 of the 53 Super Bowls. Rams wide receiver Robert Woods had 5 catches for 70 yards, while Nikel Roby-Coleman's pass breakup led to an interception for the Rams, while running back Justin Davis was inactive for the game. It may be a little early to talk about Super Bowl 54, but Bovada released the early odds to win it all next year. The Patriots and the Rams are favorites, with the Chargers and the Chiefs close behind. For the win, the Pats have tied the Pittsburgh Steelers for most Super Bowl wins with 6. Along with being the lowest scoring game, it was also the lowest rated in the last 10 years.
There have been many questions surrounding USC football this year. However, this Wednesday, USC will look to get back on track with a strong performance on National Signing Day.
With notable departures such as Cliff Kingsbury and Brew McCoy, we're going to look at what USC can do to gain stability.
The Trojans are looking to secure 2 top targets on Wednesday. The first is 4-star receiver Kyle Ford, who ranks 6th nationally amongst receivers and would play a huge role in Graham Harrell's air raid offense. The other target is 4-star receiver Puka Nacua, who put up very strong numbers during bowl season and was named the 2018 Gatorade Football Player of the Year in Utah.
Since Kingsbury announced his departure, USC has lost a few highly rated recruits, most notably 5-star athlete and early enrollee Brew McCoy, and 2020 4-star receiver Coy Moore.
USC has recruited so far 2 of the top 20 players in California. That's pretty unusual.
Big day for the Trojans as they look to officially sign long-standing commitments as well as add a couple of playmakers to the roster to make a push into the top 10 recruiting classes.
Noah, with that recruiting class and National Signing Day, like what kind of things do you think USC are going to look to do, in order to gain stability over the time and to make sure that, USC football goes back to where we belong?
Yeah, so it definitely all starts with the coaching. I mean, ever since Cliff Kingsbury was hired and then left to go to the NFL, there have been a lot of question marks. And like you said, Brew McCoy has left. Coy Moore has announced his leave. So it's all about gaining that stability. And they did hire Graham Harrell as their offensive coordinator, and he has a similar air raid offense. So hopefully now having Helton and Harrell there will provide some stability, and we'll hopefully be able to get some more recruits to come join USC and come join this team so they can get back to what they usually like to be.
And now with Cliff being like such a big name in college football and football in general, obviously he was the one who was really mainly going to sign McCoy, and that's why McCoy came. How big of a loss really is Cliff Kingsbury to this Trojan football team?
Yeah, I mean, that one definitely hurts. There was definitely high hopes for Cliff Kingsbury and his offense, and such a big name, players wanted to play with him. But the good news is Graham Harrell does run the very similar offense that Cliff Kingsbury runs of the air raid offense. And we were very excited to see JT Daniels with all of his weapons in that offense. So hopefully, even though Cliff isn't the same name as Graham Harrell, since it's the same offense, hopefully that'll be able to still keep USC's offense to thrive this year.
And that's it with football. Now let's talk about some basketball. After a 93-84 victory against Washington State on Saturday, the Trojans will try to keep the upward trend going when they take on Utah on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. at the Galen Center. Junior guard Jonah Matthews had this to say about the upcoming matchup.
We got a road win all season. This one was like a huge one for us, just for Pac-12 playing for us as a team. We came in and got it done. And we're second right now. We want to keep on advancing. We can't fall back games, so we got to come every game ready to play, keep on getting wins.
C is 11-2 at home this year and defeated the Utes twice last season. So the Trojans will hope to continue that success Wednesday night at 8 in the Galen Center. Now on to the women. After a rough 1-7 start to the Pac-12 play, the women of Troy have finally gotten things rolling with 2 straight wins at home this weekend against Washington and Washington State. USC's 2 career 1,000-point scorers, Aliyah Muzik and Mignon Moore, combined for 48 total points in the double-digit win against Washington State on Sunday. Another star of the weekend was Shalexis Aaron, who was named Pac-12 Freshman of the Week after a career-high 28 points. The women of Troy take their high-powered offense to Utah on Friday. Now, over to Noah with tennis.
In tennis, the USC men's team dominated over the weekend. They defeated UC Davis by a score of 6-1 and USF 7-0. Players seem to be optimistic about a championship run.
I think expectation is going to the end, win the NCAA title. We have a long way to go.
The Trojans have started the season red hot, winning their first 5 matches and are set to take on Stanford and Cal this upcoming weekend. That's it with sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up, USC students can now take a little piece of Trojan history home.
We'll find out what it is when we come back.
Hey guys, Danny Trejo here. There was going to be a whole song and dance routine about how you should wait your turn to enter the train. But they got me, Danny Trejo, to talk to you instead. Look, when you don't wait your turn to enter the train, it's rude and potentially dangerous. And believe me, I know a thing or two about rude and dangerous. I'm Danny Trejo. Don't be like rude, dude. Be kind, like super kind. Excuse me.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
2018 student football season ticket holders have a chance to get their very own piece of the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The seats will be salvaged from the Coliseum renovation project. Fans simply need to select a pickup time by tomorrow at 5 p.m. to get 2 complimentary Coliseum seats to take home.
For the first time ever, male cheerleaders were included in the Super Bowl cheering squad. As the only male cheerleaders in the NFL, they are hard to miss alongside the other female cheerleaders. Napoleon Jennings and Quentin Perrone are both on the Rams cheer squad. The two tweeted each other and posted their excitement for the opportunity to perform at the most viewed TV event in America. While there has never been a ban on male cheerleaders in the NFL, the 2018 season opening game was the first time viewers were able to see male cheerleaders on the sidelines. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Megan Manata.
And I'm Kate Johnston. I don't know about that piece of the Coliseum. That's definitely some unconventional home decor.
I think that's pretty cool, though, honestly. Taking a chair home, I just don't know where I'm going to fit it in my room.
I want to know, does anybody have tickets that I can get the seats?
Sounds like fun. You can watch us live at the web at uscannenbergmedia.com.
But before you do that, I mean, anyone else watch the football game?
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.